Satvika. Welcome to my channel Explore Science. In this video, we're going to explore human respiratory system and discuss on how coronavirus enters into the body, why oxygen levels are getting decreased when corona attacks to our body. So let's start exploring. Coronavirus enters the body through the nose, mouth, or eyes into the lungs and rapidly attacks the respiratory system, immune system, heart, brain, and all the other functions in the body. To understand how coronavirus affects our lungs, first we need to know the basics of our respiratory system. Let's learn the basics of a respiratory system. The respiratory system consists of nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, lungs and diaphragm. The lungs are the main part of the respiratory system. Lungs work with the respiratory system to allow you to take in fresh air and get rid of stale air. Let's begin a tour into the lungs. Nose is the most external organ and it is the entry point into the respiratory system. Pharynx is a common passageway for air and food. Larynx is known as sound box. It connects to the trachea to the pharynx. Trachea is a tubular structure, that means it looks like a tube, with 15 to 20 C-shaped cartilages that keep it dilated. Trachea extends to the lungs and splits into the right and the left bronchi. Bronchi are the branches of trachea leads to the lungs. Bronchi are further divided into bronchioles. The respiratory system is divided into the upper respiratory tract and the lower respiratory tract. The upper respiratory tract includes the nose, pharynx, larynx, and trachea. The lower respiratory tract includes the bronchi, lungs, and bronchioles. Ribs around the lungs and the dome-shaped diaphragm help your lungs to expand and contract as you breathe. Design of our lungs. Lungs are protected by the rib cage as shown here, and the rib cage is made up of 12 sets of ribs. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These ribs are connected to the spine and go around our lungs to keep them safe. If you observe closely, you can see the lungs, heart, diaphragm, and liver. Let's see an inner view. Beneath the lungs is the diaphragm. A dome-shaped muscle divides your chest and abdomen, and it works with your lungs to allow you to inhale, breathe in, and exhale, breathe out. Digestion system starts out from the rib bridge. We will be checking it out later on. You can't see your lungs, but it's easy to feel them in action. Let's do this exercise. Put your hands on your chest and breathe in very deeply. You'll feel your chest getting slightly bigger. Now breathe out the air and feel your chest return to the regular size. So, have you not just felt the power of your lungs? Well, I felt them. A look inside the lungs. Lungs are pink and bit squishy like a sponge. Interesting fact is that the right lung is shorter than the left lung to make room for the liver. The left lung is shorter than the right lung to make room for the heart. At the bottom of the trachea or windpipe, there are two large tubes. These tubes are called the main stem of bronchi, and one heads left into the left lung and the other heads right into the right lung. Each main stem branches off into tubes that get splitted into even smaller, still tiny, just like the branches on a huge tree. Any tube, we can call them as bronchi. The tiniest tubes are called bronchioles, and there are about 3,000 of them in each lung. Each bronchioles is about the thickness as a hair. At the end of each bronchioles is a special area that leads into clumps of teeny tiny air sacs called alveoli. Interesting fact is, there are about 600 million alveoli in our lungs, and if you stretch them out, they would cover an entire tennis court. That's a load of alveoli. Amazing, right? Each alveolus has a mesh-like covering of very small blood vessels called capillaries. These capillaries are so tiny that the cells in your blood need to line up single file, just like soldiers marching through them. Mechanism of breathing. Air with oxygen is pulled into the lungs through the nose and mouth. When diaphragm contracts, the air from the atmosphere enters into the lungs. This process is called inhalation or expiration. When diaphragm expands, the air with carbon dioxide is pumped out of the lungs. This process is called expiration. As the diaphragm contracts and relaxes, breathing takes place. When we inhale, the air ends up in the 600 million alveoli. As these millions of alveoli fill up with air, the lungs get bigger. Alveoli follow oxygen from the air to pass into the blood. All the cells in the body need oxygen every minute of the day. Oxygen passes through the walls of each alveolus into the teeny capillaries that surround it. The oxygen enters the blood in the tiny capillary hooks of red blood cells and traveling through layers of blood vessels to the heart. The heart then sends the oxygenated blood out to all the cells in the body. This is where oxygen goes into the blood. How coronavirus enters into the human body. During the inspiration process, COVID-19 virus enters into the respiratory system. The new coronavirus can infect the upper or lower part of our respiratory tract. It travels down travels your airways. The lining can become irritated and inflamed. In some cases, the infection can reach all the way down into your lungs. Our lungs might become inflamed, making it tough to breathe. This can lead to pneumonia, an infection of the tiny air sacs inside lungs where blood exchanges oxygen and carbon dioxide. That's why our oxygen levels fall down when our body affects with coronavirus and need emergency external oxygen support. A summary. The process of exchanging gases between the atmosphere and the body cells is called respiration. The respiration begins in the nose, continues into the pharynx and larynx, leads into the trachea and then to the bronchi and finally down the bronchioles into the lungs. The respiratory system is responsible for inspiration process and expiration process, exchange of the oxygen and carbon dioxide. COVID-19 enters through the nose, mouth into the respiratory system. COVID-19 infects the respiratory system and the majorly teeny tiny air sacs, which are responsible to carry oxygen to our blood cells. Quiz time! Let's check our understanding. Please pause the video and answer the question and provide your answers in the comments below. Answers should be informed. That questions numbers follows answers like 1C, 2B, 3A, 4C. Number 1. Your body can breathe without this system. Which one is it? A. Digestion system. B. Respiratory system. C. Urinary system. D. Photosynthesis. Number 2. The respiratory system is made up of the trachea, the lungs, and the A. Liver, B. diaphragm, C. Heart, D. Pancreas. Number 3. When you breathe in air, you bring oxygen into your lungs and blow out. A. Carbon monoxide, B. Carbon dioxide, C. Oxygen, D. Hydrogen. Number 4. When you inhale, your lungs A. Inflate, B. Turn purple, C. Deflate, D. Do a dance. Number 5. What is the name of the teeny tiny air sacs in your lungs? A. Bronchs, B. Ravioli, C. Alveoli, D. Bronchs. Number 6. The trachea is also called the A. Lungs, D. Diaphragm, C. Windpipe, D. Bronchus. Number 7. The voice box is also known as A. Alveoli, B. Larynx, C. Trachea, D. Motor mouth. Number 8. As you breathe, this contracts and flattens to give your lungs to fill up with air. A. Bronchioles, B. Larynx, C. Diaphragm, D. Lung balloons. Hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel to explore more science videos with Satvika. Share with your friends and like the video if you like it. That's it for today, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye!